Greetings and welcome to another Pokemon 2019 or Pokemon Journeys anime episode review. This time I'm talking about episode 60, so let's get to it. Episode 60 begins with an explanation of what the Pokemon World Coronation Series is, and they talk about Ash's reason for participating in the World Coronation Series. They also show a recap of some of Ash's major battles thus far. A similar recap and explanation was also shown in previous episodes, where Ash had a major battle. So at this point, this is the norm, and this started with episode 34. Honestly, this recap and explanation is not really needed because we wouldn't forget any of this, and this just takes up time in the episode unnecessarily. They then show us a recap of episodes 51 and 56, which do of course tie directly into episode 60, but this is still more recapping. This segment ends by showing Ash's current rank in the World Coronation Series, which is 273. This is also always mentioned in the opening World Coronation Series intro they give us at the start of episodes with a major battle. They always show Ash's current rank, which is higher than what it was the last time it was shown. Ash's rank was last shown in episode 51, and back then it was 381. So his rank increased off screen yet again. They now refuse to show us Ash's gradual ascension through the ranks. At first, Ash would have minor battles here and there that made the World Coronation Series feel like it was a living, breathing competition, and that Ash could battle at any moment and anywhere, which was great. There was more action and it felt like Ash was progressing towards his dream little by little. But now we only see a significant battle every now and then. Ash now battles and increases his rank off screen for the most part, which is very unfortunate. This is also unfair. Why can Go progress towards his dream in almost every episode, including this one, with both minor and major captures, while Ash's dream is relegated to off-screen progression with a major step every now and then? I get that animating battles is harder, but come on. Ash deserves better, and I'd rather see more battles than captures, unless Ash is the one doing the catching. Ash's Pokemon Journeys party could also definitely use the extra screen time. Speaking of which, they do show Ash's party at the end of the World Coronation Series intro, and this is again something that they have shown in previous episodes like this. And here, the narrator says that Ash and his Pokemon continue to battle even today. Now, Dracovish is also shown here, even though Ash has not used Dracovish to battle yet. In fact, Dracovish has not been seen at all since it was caught back in episode 50. Like, I am pretty sure that Dracovish has not even appeared in the background when Ash and Go are in Ceres Park. So Dracovish has not done any battle, meaning that perhaps it should not be featured here, even though it is still part of Ash's party. At least the latest special preview showed that Ash will finally use Dracovish in episode 63. But Ash will use Dracovish for a water Pokemon competition of some sort, meaning that unfortunately, Dracovish won't battle, but at least it will finally receive some more screen time. Episode 60 starts for real in Ceres Park, where Ash's Farfetch'd and Go Seesaw are battling. Seesaw uses X-Scissor, a new move that it has never used before. Farfetch'd uses Detect to avoid X-Scissor. Then, Farfetch'd attacks with Night Slash, which lands a clean hit on Seesaw, who kneels from the damage and the exhaustion from battling. After the battle, Grookey shows that it wants to battle as well. So Grookey apparently likes to battle. Now, I hate to beat a dead horse, but again, they show us that Grookey is like Ash. And yet, Go was the one that caught Grookey. Why is it that the Generation 8 starter Pokemon all end up wanting to battle, and yet they are all caught by the one that does not care for battling? I really don't get why this is a thing. If they are going to end up wanting to battle, then why not have Ash catch them in the first place? Also, if Grookey really wants to battle, then it chose the wrong trainer. So, Go says that they should go to the Pokemon Center since Farfetch'd and Seesaw are tired from battling. On the way to the Pokemon Center, a Bellsprout that has definitely seen better days appears. Grookey uses its stick to heal Bellsprout in the same way that Grookey healed the flowers in the previous episode. This shows that Grookey's healing powers are not just limited to flowers, and they can also heal Pokemon. Grookey then tells Go to catch Bellsprout, who happily accepts to be caught, and so Go catches Bellsprout. Oh, Grookey, not only did you become part of the problem by asking Go to catch you, but you are now making the problem worse by facilitating even more catches for Go. Though when you consider this, I guess that Grookey is also a good fit for Go. Also, I don't know why this was included in the episode. This is supposed to be an Ash-focused episode, and yet almost 3 minutes of the episode are dedicated to Go catching a Bellsprout. 3 minutes that could have been better used to extend and flesh out the important parts of the episode. This exemplifies what I said earlier. Go gets to advance towards his goal in almost every episode, even in episodes like this that are supposed to be about Ash. Also, if you take the time that was spent on catching Bellsprout and you add the opening explanation and the recaps to it, including a recap of episode 59, which was shown when Grookey healed Bellsprout, then you will find that this episode has too much filler in it, which is unfortunate. So Ash and Go get to the Pokemon Center and their Pokemon are healed. Ash then sends out Farfetch'd, who tries to hit Ash. It's funny that even after episode 56, Farfetch'd still likes to attack Ash. Ash then gets a notification for a battle of the World Coronation Series, and it was, of course, obvious who this opponent would be, and indeed, Rinto and Gallade happen to be in the Pokemon Center as well, and they also get the notification. There is then yet another flashback of episode 51, like seriously, we don't need all these recaps and flashbacks. We remember what happened in episode 51. I am honestly convinced at this point that they were just padding this episode so that they could get it to be as long as a normal episode without having to include so much new content. Considering that Pokemon Journeys will be taking a 2-week break after episode 60, I can't help but think that they are having budget or time constraints, which is of course unfortunate. If this is the case, then I'd rather they take a short break and then deliver a great episode instead of giving us an episode that is supposed to be about Ash and Farfetch'd, but is instead filled with recaps, flashbacks, and Go catching a random Pokemon. So Rinto recalls that he did battle Ash before and he approaches Ash, who greets Rinto. Now I love how Gallade looks to the side and Farfetch'd is just standing there like a badass, menacingly looking at Gallade. Talk about intimidating your opponent. Go then says to Rinto sarcastically, "Oh, you are participating in the World Coronation Series as well?" And Ash says that it is weird then that he did not get a notification for a battle back in episode 51. And indeed, he didn't, which I also thought was strange, since going into episode 51, I believed that Rinto would also be participating in the World Coronation Series. Rinto reveals that back then he had only just registered, so he was still in the normal class. So Ash did not get a notification because Ash was in the great class back then, meaning that they could not battle each other because they were in different divisions. But now, Rinto is in the great class as well, so they can have an official battle. So Rinto got to the great class in just 9 episodes, which is impressive. Also, I want to take this chance to say that Rinto has always reminded me of someone, ever since he first appeared. Like, he looked familiar, but I could never figure out why or who he resembled until recently. Someone commented on my preview discussion for this episode and they said that Rinto is Wally from the games. And indeed, they do look alike. They have a very similar hairstyle, they both have green hair, and they both even have a Gallade. This resemblance is probably intentional since it would be too much of a coincidence otherwise. So Rinto is probably inspired by Wally. So Rinto wonders if Farfetch'd has been well, and Ash tells Rinto that Farfetch'd has gotten stronger, and he mentions that they even undertook Wickstrom's training. And Go says in an arrogant tone that they even got Knight medals. Rinto then reveals that he also trained with Wickstrom, which was surprising. Ash then tells Rinto that they should battle, that he and Farfetch'd are much stronger so it won't go like last time. Rinto says that he hopes that this is true and that he looks forward to seeing their potential. They all move to a battlefield and Ash thanks Go because coming to the Pokemon Center was Go's idea, and because of this, Ash is able to have this rematch. Go tells Ash that he has to win, and so Ash gets ready to battle alongside Farfetch'd. Now it is a one-on-one battle because of course the focus is on Farfetch'd versus Gallade, but this is unusual because most other major battles thus far have been 2-on-2. They would have had time to include another battle if they wasted less time on unnecessary filler, but I guess this would have taken some focus out of the main event of Farfetch'd vs Gallade, so it's fine in the end. The battle then begins and Farfetch'd uses Fury Cutter, which Gallade easily blocks. Gallade then uses Night Slash, and as Gallade uses Night Slash, it clearly has the scratches that Pokemon normally have when they are injured, but Gallade has not taken a hit yet, so I guess that this is an animation mistake. Farfetch'd uses Detect to avoid Night Slash, but Gallade uses Psycho Cut at close range, which hits Farfetch'd. A super effective hit. Farfetch'd soon realizes that Psycho Cut left lasting damage on its leak. Rinto then says that Ash and Farfetch'd are truly inadequate, so Go tells Rinto that he should tell them how to improve instead of simply telling them that they are inadequate. This is a valid point, but Rinto says that he is not a gym leader, so he has no obligation to tell them anything. They should find the answer themselves. Jeez, what a jerk. Gallade then uses Close Combat and Farfetch'd counters with Night Slash. They both clash, but Farfetch'd is then pummeled by Close Combat. Farfetch'd then uses Detect to dodge in a very cool way since it's off the ground holding onto its leak. But Gallade then uses Feint, a move that negates Detect, and so Gallade lands a clean hit with Feint. However, Gallade slices off a chunk of Farfetch'd's leak instead of hitting Farfetch'd directly. Rinto obviously had no way of knowing that Farfetch'd knows Detect now, so it is odd that Gallade was prepared by knowing Feint, a move that serves only to bypass Detect and Protect. Farfetch'd and Ash both stand there dumbfounded, not knowing what to do now, but then Ash has an idea, and I knew what he was going to suggest before he even said it because he looks at the chunk of leak that was sliced off. So I figured that he would tell Farfetch'd to use it as a shield, and indeed, Ash tells Farfetch'd to remember Wikstrom's Aegislash. Rinto tells Gallade to stand down so that they can see what Ash and Farfetch'd can do. Farfetch'd looks at Ash confused at first, like what in the world are you telling me to do? But Farfetch'd then remembers Aegislash, and we get yet another flashback, and a lengthy one at that. Farfetch'd then picks up the piece of leak and it stands ready to battle as a discount or bargain bin Sirfetch'd. Or you could say that this is Sirfetch cosplay. Rinto says that such a mockery of a knight could not possibly defeat his Gallade, and he calls for Psycho Cut, which Gallade uses, but Farfetch'd blocks it with its leak shield. Farfetch'd then uses Night Slash while Gallade also uses Night Slash, and they both clash repeatedly. After a prolonged sword fight, both Pokemon come to a sudden stop as they clash in a way that prevents either of them from moving. However, Gallade is still able to use Psycho Cut in this position, which hits Farfetch'd at point blank range. This launches Farfetch'd towards Ash and they both fall down together. Rinto then says that what would Wikstrom say if he saw them now? Man, talk about kicking them while they're down. And Rinto also says that he is disappointed because he got his hopes up with regards to Ash and Farfetch'd's potential. Meanwhile, Ash worries about Farfetch'd, who looks at its leak with a hopeless expression. The Rotom drone then approaches them to see if they are going to keep battling, and Ash says that they will. He says that he knows how much Farfetch'd has trained, and he knows that Farfetch'd can do better. He says that he and Farfetch'd are indeed inadequate, but this is why they will get stronger, and he believes in Farfetch'd. This speech gives Farfetch'd the strength to stand and fight once again with its sword and shield. The battle resumes and Gallade uses Night Slash. Farfetch'd uses Detect to avoid it, and then it uses Fury Cutter continuously on Gallade, who initially blocks all of them like it did before, but soon a hit gets through its guard and Gallade is hit so hard that a shockwave is created. Gallade then tries to use Close Combat, but it can't get through the barrage of Fury Cutters, so instead Gallade is just hit continuously. Considering that Fury Cutter grows in strength the more times it lands, it's fair to say that Gallade took a serious beating here. Farfetch'd then stands there exhausted after such a barrage. Gallade tries to use Close Combat, but Farfetch'd starts glowing because the moment we have all been waiting for finally arrives.
Yum.
So Farfetch evolves into Sirfetch'd, which is not surprising because I expected it to happen, but boy was it epic to finally see it happen. Now it is interesting that Sirfetch'd still says Kamo when it speaks, like it did before evolving, even though Sirfetch'd's Japanese name, Negi ga Naito, does not have Kamo in its name, but Kamo does sound better than Negi, so it works. And at this point, Kamo is also more familiar because it is what Farfetch has been saying all this time, since Farfetch's Japanese name is Kamonegi. Now, Rinto says that Farfetch has his respect because it evolved in response to Ash's feelings. Sirfetch really is a knight because it surpassed itself to protect its lord. I guess that Farfetch did evolve because of Ash, but considering that Farfetch used God knows how many Fury Cutters and it landed several of them, you could also say that it evolved because 3 of those Fury Cutters were critical hits. The battle then resumes and Gallade uses Night Slash. Sirfetch counters by using Night Slash as well. I was honestly expecting a new move, like maybe Meteor Assault, Sirfetch's signature move, but I guess it did learn Detect recently, so it's fine. Both Pokemon clash, but Gallade is clearly being pushed back. So Rinto tells Gallade to take the hit, surprisingly. So Gallade is hit with Night Slash, but Gallade's ability is Justified, which increases attack when hit by a Dark-type move like Night Slash. So Rinto and Gallade use this to their advantage so that they can turn the tide of the battle, which is a clever strategy. Gallade powers up and it attacks Sirfetch, who blocks the attack like a total badass with its shield and it stands strong. Ash then tells Sirfetch that they will get stronger together because Leon is waiting for them. Sirfetch then screams to show its determination and it pushes Gallade away. Both Pokemon then use Night Slash one final time to settle the battle, but Sirfetch overpowers and defeats Gallade while this epic music plays in the background. This moment is just breathtakingly amazing. So Ash and Sirfetch are the winners, unsurprisingly. Man, is Sirfetch cool. I definitely have to go back to shiny hunting Galarian Farfetch in Pokemon Sword because I want to have a shiny Sirfetch. So, Ash's rank increases to 184. He is almost in the hyper class, and considering that his rank increases off screen between major battles now, he might even be in the hyper class the next time they show us his rank. Or, the next major battle he has will be to enter the hyper class. Now, B did say in episode 39 that she would wait for Ash in the hyper class, so their third battle might happen very soon, which means that Sirfetch will have the chance to make up for his loss against B's Halucha, assuming that Ash uses Sirfetch in the battle, of course. So Rinto says that Ash and Farfetch have shown their answer, and he says that he and Gallade lost despite giving it their all, or perhaps they too are still inadequate. Rinto thanks Ash, who says that he hopes they both grow stronger. So in the end, like most rivals, Rinto was a jerk until he lost, at which point he starts being nicer. The episode then cuts to the outside of Ceres Institute. Ash and Go are on their way back, and Go talks about everything that happened, saying that it was so cool and inspiring. He says that Ash's words protected Farfetch, who in turn evolved to protect Ash like a true knight would. Go says that Sirfetch is Ash's knight, and it embodies the spirit of knighthood that Wickstrom spoke about. Ash wonders if all of this is true, and then a truck drives by. Now, I took a screenshot of the truck as it passed by because I wanted to see who is in it, just in case it's an Easter egg or a reference. And inside of the truck is an Oshawott and a Hitmonlee wearing a cap. So no reference or cool Easter egg here, but I do wonder why this Hitmonlee is wearing a cap. So the truck drives over a puddle which splashes water towards Ash, but Sirfetch covers Ash by taking the splash instead. So Go screams, "You see? That is chivalry. Sirfetch protected you yet again," and Sirfetch even turns to Ash and its eyes sparkle like, "You good bro? Don't worry, I got your back." So Sirfetch really is Ash's knight, which I have to say is both funny and cool, but that's the episode. Now, overall, this was an amazing episode, but it is unfortunate that so much time from the episode was wasted in recaps, flashbacks, unnecessary exposition, and on Go catching Bellsprout. But this was still a fantastic episode. The battle was very good and it was well animated. The music was also top notch. It has been a while since we had a battle this good, and I wish we could have more battles like this. Farfetch's evolution was amazing, of course, and Sirfetch is very cool. A total badass, in fact, and I can't wait to see it battle more. After 2 episodes of build up to this episode, it was great to finally see the payoff of Farfetch's arc. So yeah, I loved this episode, even with the unnecessary padding. The time they wasted could have been put to better use by extending the battle so that it was even better, but I guess that there is no point in complaining about it now, though I do hope this does not happen again in future episodes, especially in episodes that are centered on Ash. But that's the video. As always, leave your own thoughts down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did and would like to see more like it, then please consider subscribing to my channel. I love Pokemon and I love making videos on both the anime and the games. Also, please consider clicking the links on screen so that you can check out more videos like this right away. Thank you very much for watching, and let's meet again in the next video.